Broadway World. It's Kerry Butler, and I'm here at the Williamstown Theater Festival, and you're backstage for our show, Opposite of Sex. Who says rubbing has to be a sin? Temperatures are rising, rays are beating down. Wipe the beads of sweat before I start to drown. So I play Dee Truitt, the narrator of the show, and it's sort of I'm a I would say anguished teenager who's had a lot of a troubled childhood, abused, alcoholic mother, and so her way of coping is sort of shutting off and closing down sort of emotions and just not letting anybody get too close to her, and she's very controlling, and so I sort of like run the show, kind of like telling you what to do. In this game I hold the ace, now you are going back to Indiana, we are moving on to start a life through here. You're so deluded. Something found that night. The way that I see it, you have no choices. I didn't know you to believe me. You are one heartless little tramp. So Dee Dee isn't the kind of role that I normally get cast in, but Rob told me that when he was writing it, he thought of me, which I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not. But I did Beauty and the Beast for him, and so usually I'm like a good girl with a little bit of quirky added to it. Yeah, so now I'm very dark, and I have to be really grounded, and then actually after doing Dee Dee, now I'm playing Claudia Reston on One Life to Live, and she's a dark character too, so I don't know what's happening to me. But playing Dee Dee is fun because she sort of teaches me not to care about what people think about me, and sort of empowers me more, but she's also very depressing to play. Like, it's just like sad to have all that like emotional baggage. And I've got news for you. Sex is one big overrated joke. Seems like everyone's having sex but me. Good for them. You're screwing all we do. Well, screw the sex and skip right to the smoke. But oh, it's a heart that's broke. Oh, that's not the life I choose. Have too much to lose. Yeah, I've got news for you. Yeah, it was so awesome getting to work with Kaitlin again, and it's so strange how it happened. I ran into her on a plane, and then I was like, oh, Kaitlin, you'd be perfect for this part. And so I was telling her about it, and then Rob called me, and he was like, what do you think of Kaitlin? Like the next day, Rob called me and was like, what do you think of Kaitlin Hopkins? I'm like, oh my God, it's meant to be. Caitlin's meant to be this part, because I just ran into her, and I told her that she was perfect for it. And so then he didn't even really audition for her. He was just like, yeah, it's fate, and it is fate. And so it's so great to work with her again. She's like, she takes care of all of us, and she's such an amazing actress. Yeah, everyone loves Kaitlin, and you know, I love her from Bad Boy, and yeah, now we're doing the Cabaret, and we're doing 3-bedroom house together, and so it's really fun to do that again. Yeah, it's been hard because, I mean, not too hard, but both the soap opera and the Opposite of Sex said that they would work around each other's schedules, so it's been great that I've been able to do both, and I'm so happy that the soap lets me do theater. So every week I've been going back to New York and filming my episodes, and sometimes it's during the week, and sometimes, most of the time it's, I've been lucky, it's been on Monday or Tuesday, so I've just gone back and then gone back, come back to Williamstown. But yeah, it's a lot. I haven't had a day off in a while, but it's all good. It's fun here, so I don't really mind. When you rub a little lotion on my skin, I can feel an ocean laughing at my feet. Let me marinate like a piece of meat.
The role of Matt Mateo. He is very simple, very vulnerable, not much going on, but truly, I really think that he is the heart of the show. He's the only one that really says what is right and what is wrong, what is the right thing to do in terms of how to go about living the correct way of living, if that makes any sense. Working opposite Gregg has been just a dream. I mean, I saw him a while ago in City of Angels, and I just was like, okay, this is it. I am doing theater because of him and James Naughton. It was such a breath of fresh air for me as a kid growing up to see something like that on the stage, Broadway stage, and I always looked up to him as a mentor, and now I'm like performing with him on stage, and he's great. He's such a class in his own.
I want to raise a normal kid. This is my chance to try. Maybe he won't turn out half bad. I'll be the dad I never had. Maybe if he had been there, I wouldn't be here.
Normal life, what's going on in my head is this character, this man who wants to have a life that he's not going to get chastised for, that he wants to live this norm life that everyone else has, but he hasn't because he's gay. He'll never sort of have that normal, quote unquote, normal life. But something that he's really desiring. Our relationship was not the same as his previous lover that he had. There was much more deep, enriched relationship that he had, and he's truly, fully still in love with this other man, and I've known it this whole time, and I'm telling him that I'm not him. I'm never going to be him. I've always been competing with him, and I never wanted to. You know, that's just the way it is. That it was our relationship was on a completely different level, and I've already realized that, and he should too.
Sorry, Bill, but I'm not Tom, and I'm not smart. Though I've known for some time I don't own your heart, 'cause I'm not Tom. Oh, it's clear we were always a sure thing when we made love, but then you had to see what I made of, and I'm not Tom, nowhere near.
Everybody tried to reach me, but nobody had broken through. Look who was the one to teach me something I never knew. Thank you, Matt.
There are some musical scenes that I'm really proud of because I felt I stretched a little further in those places, and they're very ambitious, and I'm very happy with the way they turned out. One of them that's, I guess, most obvious would be the opening number, which encompasses so many different things in terms of exposition and characters being introduced. I think also the seduction scene when Dee Dee seduces Matt with, excuse me, rub a little lotion, is one that I get great pleasure watching. I mean, not just because it's a seduction scene and, you know, they're both scantily clad, but it just, the writing, I feel, is very true to, I think, what Don Russo's objective was in the movie, and it just feels as if the way that dialogue and music kind of interplay feels very natural. In terms of like just those songs that are just AABAs that land, I want to cite It's Not Enough, which is Lucia's song in Act 2, which is a real personal favorite of mine. And I feel very proud of that number because that was after we opened in San Francisco. Rob and I had come back to New York. We got notes from the Weislers and from Jack De Palma, and it was a request that would be a great moment for me to reevaluate because it was a musical scene.
It's not enough to know who loves me when I know he's not in love. It's not the same and not the answer. I played it safe while always hoping for more. It's not enough.
We we were scrupulous and very unforgiving when we got here. We went through the script for, I think, a whole week just around a table, just looking at every scene and song and reading the text, the lyrics as text, and really deciding if everything was necessary. And if there was one thing that some actor said made it seem like a false moment, it was gone. So and I actually wrote new music for some of the performers so that it could be right in their range, because there were some things that just didn't favor their voices, so I changed some things.
Lovers when I can embrace Stephen King, disappear without a trace between his covers, the dead don't depart, stakes through the heart, kind of has an all too familiar ring.
Well, we had the great opportunity to go to the Magic Theater in San Francisco and try out the show about 2 years ago now. And we did learn a lot from that production, and we realized that, most of all, Dee Dee needed a number at the end of Act 1. So Doug wrote a great new song called End of the Line, which we put into the show. We also didn't really get to try our full set design idea out at the Magic. The theater was very small. We couldn't fit Derek McLean's idea. So here at Williamstown, we're getting to really try our full set design idea, which is working very, very well, and I'm really happy with, and the audience seems pleased by it. And there's been lots of other little internal changes. I kept going back to the movie and back to some drafts of the script that Don Roos had given me, and finding little gems of Don Roos that we, for whatever reason, didn't use in San Francisco. So we put a lot of little things back in, which I'm really delighted about. Don's a very funny writer. Well, the difference in the audiences between the Magic Theater and here, none. Which is really interesting. I thought there would be, but I'll tell you, the audiences respond to this the same. And we have a very wide age range, from the apprentices here at Williamstown who are, 18, 19, 20, to people my parents' age who are in their 70s that are just laughing and crying and being emotional. So it's funny, we have the same response at the Magic. It's the show seems like it crosses generational lines, and I think this is a tribute to Don Roos, really. And that he wrote something that's universal, that kids relate to it, they relate to Dee Dee in one way, and older people relate to the other characters, Bill and Lucia, in a different way, and relate to Dee Dee in a different way. So it's been a very interesting thing that the audience response has been very, very similar, even though the show's changed some.
I want to be the first name that you call, to share with me every emotion. What is the point of existing at all, unless we insist on devotion?
I had never seen the film, and when they offered me the show, I decided that it would be better for me to wait and see the film after the production. And actually, I wouldn't necessarily have made that decision had it been another actress, but because it was Lisa Kudrow, she's so very specific and original and unique in both in her style of comedy, everything about her, and I did feel that it would influence me, and I wanted to try to have my own take on it, and I felt I had a better shot at that if I didn't have any pre-existing ideas in my head about how it should be played or who the character was. I wanted to make those discoveries myself. It's a wonderful experience in a way to step into something that has been already worked on, because they already have so much information. They already know so much about it, and Rob and Doug in particular, have such a strong relationship to the piece, and they know so much about the characters and the text and the music and everything. So it's sort of like having this incredible wealth of information accessible to you, and Kerry and David and Ian, are so open and willing to share what they know as well. And Gregg and Herndon and I really kind of, my aunts, we all just sort of, as a company, we really, I think, we discovered it and they rediscovered it with us.
I'm not one for fairy tales. Bet Snow White was hard as nails, but when that poison apple fails, chalk it up to destiny. Learn from sonnets from the bard, or greetings in a Hallmark card. If love is blind, don't look too
really, really proud of it. I just think that it's such a great piece, and the level and caliber of the performances and the work that's being done is top notch, and I feel very, very proud and very privileged to be part of it. And it's nice to feel that way, because you always want to, but you don't always. And it's really exciting and thrilling to be part of this company. I think there's a lot of tension because Lucia's when we meet her at the beginning of the story, she's at a place in her life where she's really controlling everything. And she has a lot of very strong opinions about everything and everyone. And Dee Dee comes into their lives, and it's very easy to judge her, frankly. I mean, she's obnoxious, and she's acerbic, and she's a nasty little kid who's causing all kinds of problems in our lives. One of the things that is so sweet and sort of wonderful about the journey of their relationship together, is that I don't know that they'll ever come to love each other, but they do come to understand each other. And on some level, I think they come to respect each other. And that's saying a lot, because they are so opposite. They function from such different places. You know, Dee Dee is a feeler and a reactor and a doer, and Lucia is very repressed in a lot of ways, and very safe, and Dee Dee's very dangerous. And I think that they also envy each other. I think that that's part of how their relationship changes, is that I might not like Dee Dee, but there are aspects of her that I wish I had, as Lucia, that I think she wishes she could be a little freer and a little braver and a little bolder. And I think that at the end of the show, I think Dee Dee, that there are a couple things about Lucia that Dee Dee could use too.
You beat me up for making love, but baby, I'm not in the mood. All the time you're getting laid, I'm the one who's getting screwed. Broken promises and lies, now I got my own surprise. You took what's mine at the end of the line.
Hang on a second. Thank you so much for your interest in the show. I really appreciate it. I have a couple calls I need to take, so if you could just... I'm actually going to go into the bathroom now, so you can't... Don't follow me, okay?
Hi, I'm your waiter. My name's Timothy. Hey, what can I get you?
Hi, I do want to do the interview, but I'm actually on the phone with an agent right now, so I actually haven't got him on the phone yet. It's still ringing. He's actually not an agent. It's a relative of mine who knows an agent, and it's not actually. It's a relative of mine that knows the head of a pipe fitters union. So, but he says he knows. Hi, hey, it's Ian Scott McGregor. Yeah. We had talked about me coming in and meeting, seeing if you had anything for. I don't have any plumbing experience, no. Well, I am based in San Francisco. You're where? Tallahassee? Okay. Let me call you back. Hi, I'm Ian Scott McGregor. I'm currently playing a bunch of different roles in the opposite sex. One of them is Randy Cates, who is a hick from, I don't know where he's from, but he has one testicle. That's all the audience really cares about at that point. I'm sorry, this is my broker. I'm trying to move to New York, and he's getting really mad at me. Hello, broker. Yeah. Well, I'm doing an interview right now with BroadwayWorld.com. So, oh, you got the credit check back. Okay. Yeah, I do owe them a lot of money. A lawsuit? I haven't heard about that. My balance? Overdrawn? Good. Well, listen, it's cost a lot of minutes, and this is, expensive roaming. So I'll call you back in a little while. So one of the things that's really great about playing a bunch of different characters is you just kind of get to, be a lot of different people in, a small amount of time. I'm sorry you had to see that. You're not you don't have to. You can edit that, right? Because people, mainly if my broker saw that, that would be, bad for me. Struggling actor trying to move to New York needs an apartment. Can you imagine if the broker saw that? He would go crazy. Wow, this is really not the best day.
My name is Lance Rubin. I'm playing Jason Bach in The Opposite of Sex here at Williamstown Theater Festival. And being Jason Bach specifically is an interesting challenge because he is, I guess the person playing the role has the choice of how weird this character is going to be. But it's also tough because like Dee Dee Truitt, this is a character that's sort of unlikable. This is a character who accuses Bill, who everybody's obviously going to love, because it's Gregg Edelman. How can you not love him? He's going to accuse, Bill of seducing or molesting him in school, when Bill would never have done that. So the audience is automatically going to sort of hate you. So it's tough to tackle, but I just try to bring sort of like a goofy charm to the role, I guess, so that even though he's doing these horrible things, it's like, oh, he's sort of funny, and maybe he's weird and he can't help it.
You know I'm more than just your former student. I had lots of fun with Matt. Plenty of fun with Matt. Look, don't pretend you didn't know about Matt and I. About Matt and me.
Right now I'm just enjoying being here at Williamstown, and Roger Rees has been so supportive of the show and supportive of me. And it's just a great place to work. My God, it's just wonderful. And I think the cast, we're all having a really good time. It's like being at camp with performances at night. It's fun.
Now I'm looking out for number one.
We're so glad that you'll be staying here. Come see the full porch.
The bedroom, all it's time to keep.
Time will hear your pain.
Our camp has never been such fun.
Awesome.
And the fun has just begun. Oh, they haven't got a clue. Judging from your asinine expressions, neither have you.
It's been great. Williamstown has been like summer theater camp, to tell you the truth. There's theater everywhere. There's interns and non-equity members, and they're doing shows and directing projects and improv shows every single night. There's something to go see, and there's a lot to take in a very enriching environment. And not only is it's so beautiful with the Green Mountains right behind us, and the weather's been fantastic, and it's been an amazing experience. People really care about theater here, and they really respect the work that everyone does, that we all do here, and that's been a real treat.
For me, it's love, it's compassion, it's community, and I think that all three of those things are things that are achieved in the journey of these characters in the context of the piece, and so I guess that would be my answer.
Well, I guess it's what Dee Dee, by the end of the show, just absolutely wants the opposite of sex, because it's sort of like, sex can never just be sex. It's always going to lead to something. And I guess the opposite of sex is just wanting a life where you can never be hurt. Who can have that? Because getting hurt, that's what life is about.
I think it means like love or something, like the opposite of like doing the deed, you know what I mean? Like all the other things that come along with sex.
It's one of those things where it really is left to the audience to discern what it means. I think, Rob and I have talked about, he feels the show is about people making connections, and I feel that's very true. I also feel it's about people who fear intimacy and have repressed emotions and need to heal, and they heal through sex, through the connection that they make, through what sex is more than just the physical act, but it's an emotional connection. And as Carl says, it's like biological highlighter. It helps you to focus on the person that you're sharing your life with. So I think it's all those things and whatever the audience wants to bring to it.